Good morning, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. You don't need to look at a calendar to know it's our SoFlo summer because it's hot. It's hot at the beach, it's hot at the park, it's hot in your car, but I'm about to cool you off in your kitchen. Today I'm cooling it with cool desserts here on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and welcome to the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida here in Coconut Creek. You don't need to look at a calendar to know it's our SoFlo summer because it is hot. It's hot at the beach, it's hot in the park, it's hot in your car, but I'm about to turn down the temperature on you. Today I thought it would be fun to give you some dessert recipes to cool off your summer. So let's get cooking. First thing we're gonna do is make a sundae. And we're not making just any old sundae, we are making a blueberry sundae. So we are gonna take some beautiful blueberries and turn them into a delicious sauce. So here I've got 2 pints of blueberries. Now, if the blueberries taste really sweet, you can go less sugar. But if they taste the way these do, you're gonna need the whole recipe of sugar in them. Also adding some cornstarch to bring it all together. And let's jump right into the topping for this sundae. We're not gonna make just any old topping. We are gonna make a granola topping. And we're gonna have a little fun with it. So, we've got oats, flaxseed, and pecans in this bowl. To the bowl, we're gonna add a little bit of melted butter, a little bit of vegetable oil, vanilla, cinnamon, brown sugar, some honey, some maple syrup, and let's mix all that together. Oh, the most important part. Let's add a heavy pinch of salt in there so that all the flavors balance really well. Once that's all mixed up really, really well, you're gonna go ahead and pour that onto a cookie sheet. Don't put any paper down, no parchment paper, because this will stick right to it. You want this to stick to the pan to caramelize. So we're gonna go into about a 325-degree oven and let it over caramelize, because I love it to that point where it's kind of between done and burnt, right in the middle. So last night I made a batch of my granola. I'm always making a batch of my granola, mainly because everybody asks for it all the time. What's great about this recipe is if someone can't eat nuts, you can use seeds. Like yesterday, for a friend, I made one filled with pumpkin seeds, pepitas, and sunflower seeds, and that was perfect for her. And for some people that like more nuts, you can add a whole bunch of your favorites like walnuts and pistachios and the pecans like we did today. But I'm gonna make it to a next level. I actually found freeze-dried blueberries, which I've realized are everywhere. So in a lot of grocery stores, there's a lot of freeze-dried fruit. So why not make a granola topping that has freeze-dried blueberries in it for your blueberry sundae? So let's add some of the granola that I made last night into the bowl and mix this up. And then we have this beautiful granola topping that has freeze-dried blueberries in it. And, you know, if you want to make a banana sundae with fresh bananas in a sauce and freeze-dried banana granola, that would also be delicious. And you can do the same thing with pretty much anything that they have freeze-dried. So check out my blueberry sauce. It's almost completely come together. You don't want to overcook it. You don't want the blueberries to completely mush out. You want to see that there's fresh blueberries in here. And this is just delicious. If you wanted to add a hint of acid, you can add a little bit of lemon juice to this. But like I said, you know, these blueberries happen to be a little bit tart, so I didn't really find it very necessary. So let's just cook these out for a couple more minutes. So come right back. We're going to jump into our next recipe and we can actually finish this blueberry sundae. So when you come right back, I will have so many more cooling summer desserts for you, and hurry up before they get warm.
Come back to the Goya Kitchen at J.A. World, Michelle, and the food. This is SoFlo Taste.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, giving you some cooling culinary cures for our SoFlo summers. All right, everybody, I've got vanilla ice cream. Here is our gorgeous blueberry sauce. It's thickened up beautifully, but not too thick. And then, of course, the granola that I taught you how to make that has the freeze-dried blueberries in it. Let's put that over here. And that is a blueberry scrumptious. Very exciting. So let's jump into our next recipe. Let me put this over there because if not, I'm just going to be eating it, not really paying attention to my next very, very cool coconut pie. So I love pie over the summer, and I love hot and cool pies. I don't really care. I just like pie. But coconut cream pie, very few things are better than that. So we're going to start out with a cookie crust instead of a typical graham cracker crust or a pie dough. We're going to take some British shortbread cookies, and you just basically grind them up with some shredded coconut and a little bit of butter, and you mix that together, and this makes a delicious, delicious pie crust. So make sure it's really well mixed. You'll pour that into, this is, by the way, this recipe is for a nice big pie. So you'll pour this into a nice deep 9.5 incher, like so. Spread it around. You're going to want to press it, just making sure that it's really nice and flat and even. Once you do that, either with your hands, you can use like a measuring cup, whatever it is you do, just make sure it's really well pressed. And then you're going to bake that, so it's a blind bake, and that will turn out like this beauty over here. And this is already cooled, and so we can jump into the coconut cream part of the recipe. In a mixing bowl, we have a little bit of cold milk, some salt, some cornstarch, granulated sugar, and egg. We're going to need all that. At the same time, I'm going to start heating up some coconut milk, not the one that has sweetener in it. You don't want that coconut cream stuff. You just want coconut milk. And the best coconut milks are always the Thai coconut milks because they don't separate. We're going to start warming that up a little bit, nice and low, with a little bit of vanilla extract. Okay. Let's jump over here and whisk all this together. We're going to want a strainer for after the custard is made. What's lovely about this pie is you can go ahead and make every part of it. You can actually make the crust a day ahead. You can make the custard, as we're doing, a day ahead so that everything is really cold. The whipped cream, you could maybe do a day ahead, but I really love the whipped cream to really be made the day of, You can throw your pie in the fridge after it's made and let it sit in there for at least 24 hours so that it's really nice and set and it cuts a lot easier. Because it's not very easy to slice a perfect slice of pie once it's just made. It really takes a little time to be able to get a perfect slice out of that. So once this combination has started heating up, what we're going to do is we're going to temper, which basically means bringing this up to the same temperature as this. So with a ladle, I'm going to come and add just a couple of ladlefuls of the coconut milk mixture to the egg. Now it's up to barely a warm temperature. I'll add a little bit more, bringing the temperature up just a little bit. And then finally, one last spoonful to really bring that same temperature to the egg as it is to the pot. Then we're going to go ahead and add the egg mixture into the pot. And we will cook that until we form a custard. Now the best and easiest way to know if a custard is ready is if it forms what's called nappé. Nappé is when you dip a spoon into something, and if it really sticks and holds a line through it, we know it's ready. So let's grab a spoon and get ourselves ready. The other thing that happens a lot is we overcook our eggs or our custard mixture. And that is why we always have a strainer set over a bowl to pour the custard and work it through the mesh. That way, everything that's overcooked will stay on the top of the mesh, not on the bottom. All right, so we have nappé. So we are going to go ahead and pour this through a mesh strainer. And it smells like coconut already, but we're going to make it even more coconutty. I've got some shredded coconut next to me in a bowl. And that is all going to fold in to this coconut custard to give it great texture, more coconut flavor, and a little more sweetness. So remember I told you that everything that is overcooked will stay on the top of this mesh strainer and nothing overcooked. So scrape the bottom, like so, and go ahead and add all of the shredded coconut into your custard. Now that even smells better. All right. Once that mixes in really, really well, go ahead and stick some plastic wrap onto the custard coming up the sides of the bowl. You never want to just wrap it with plastic wrap when you're making pudding and custards because it will develop a film. And so you always want to touch the plastic wrap to the custard, okay? So moving on, here I have cooled custard, and you see how I still have the plastic wrap on there? So I would put this into a refrigerator just like that. And like I said, make it a day ahead. It will make your life much easier, even 2 days ahead if you want to. So lift up that film, and you see how it comes up without taking any of the custard away. Isn't that great? You know what? I'm going to use that same film to protect this one. Look at me being resourceful. Isn't that great? All right, so let's go ahead and finish up this pie. I've got my custard, I've got my whipped cream, and I have some beautiful toasted coconut shavings. Okay, so we're going to take a nice amount of this custard and go ahead and place this as evenly as I can up to the edge of the crust, just like so. Next, go ahead and take a nice amount of whipped cream And you can place it on top or all the way over it, like I'm going to do. One nice layer. Like so. And this is delicately sweetened whipped cream. Not overly sweetened because we already have a pretty sweet pie going on here. And then finally, top it with some toasted shavings of coconut, or really your any kind of shredded coconut, whatever it is that you like. But I like these big shavings, which have been just cooking in the oven until they get nice and toasty. And there you have it, your own creamy coconut pie. I've got more, so come right back. We'll see what's cooking on SoFlo Taste right after this.
Coming up right after SoFlo Taste, it's SoFlo Home Project with me, Elena Capra, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. We're here at Junior Achievement of South Florida in Coconut Creek, a wonderful and beautiful place committed to the education of our children. Visit jasouthflorida.org for more information or call 954-979-7100. We're happy to be in their kitchen. Now back to the food. Okay, everybody, it's time for the coolest of all. We've got a Granita. I guess you can call Granita kind of like a snow cone-ish without shaving the ice. Anyway, it's frozen and it's refreshing and it's so delicious. It's made a lot in Italy, and I'm gonna attempt to do it justice. So rather than using a blender, which a lot of people do, we decided to switch to a food processor, and I'll show you why. We've taken some chopped up pieces of delicious watermelon and frozen them. We take them out of the freezer about 5 minutes before we go into the food processor, and the reason why we use a food processor is because they're frozen and a blender just won't mix them up well enough. So take that frozen yet just starting to melt watermelon and put that into a food processor. You can use a blender, of course, as well. You just might need to add a little bit of liquid to it to make it run. We're going to add sugar. And a little bit of, you can use actually lemon or lime, whatever your favorite is. Juice. And let's let that run. Once you have a smooth puree, you're going to pour that into a nice long pan, kind of like this one. You're going to put that into your freezer, and every half hour for the next 2 hours, what you're going to do is pull it out, just like so, and this has only been in for about half an hour. You're going to take a fork and start breaking apart the watermelon, frozen now, puree, into what will become a Granita. So like I said, do this every half hour for 2 hours. So I'm already into my half hour, and we're pretty frozen. Not all the way, but we're almost there. So after 2 hours, you're going to get something that looks like this. And there you have it. This is a Granita. And it kind of, like I said, looks a little bit like snow. It's beautifully delicious. It has a great flavor, and you can turn it into an actual dessert. So place your Granita into your favorite glass, like so. Almost to the top. And then spoon a little bit of fresh whipped cream right over the top of it. And what you're going to have is this beautiful balance of fresh fresh kind of tart, sweet fruit on the bottom and richness on the top. And these two together in your mouth make the most perfect bite ever. And of course, we're all about cooling you off today. So just think about how refreshing this is gonna be on a nice hot summer day. You gotta try it. Come right back. SoFlo Taste will return right after this. Thanks so much for joining me today. The SoFlo summers can be brutal. Hot, followed by rain, followed again by hot, followed by thunderstorms, followed with more hot. I hope my kitchen creations will cool you down this summer. Next time, I'll be hosting a pasta party. I'll be making gnocchi and fideuà. So join me on the next SoFlo Taste because it will be grande. So taste buds, I've had another wonderful show with y'all. I'll see you here next week. Goodbye and good taste. Feeling cool, cool, cool?